Hey everybody, welcome to Trailer Punk Podcast. My name is Justin Hamline. I didn't do an introduction for this interview because it's a phone interview, so I just wanted to kind of go through it. So here's my introduction. At the time that I was kind of putting this together, I'm just kind of sending out emails, trying to see which artists I can get. And this one came up where it's Steven Stapleton from Nurse with Wound. Let me make sure I'm getting the names right. Sorry, guys. Current 93 and Nodding Folk, and he's worked with all kinds of artists. I mean, he's an industrial pioneer. He doesn't think so, but I think he is. Doing, experimental, avant-garde, drone music, dark ambient, all that stuff. So I've been trying to see what I can do. So his manager sent me his phone number, which was like, whoa. And so it's been kind of a bit of a back and forth, trying to see if we can get our times right. I wish I could have done a little bit longer, but the reception was a bit wonky. So it's going to be about 17, 18 minutes, give or take. But it was fantastic. It was good to finally talk with him. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I tried to get him to speak more, but I also wanted to make sure he could hear me and there's no cutting off. So you'll probably hear me go, yeah, and all that. Yeah, so sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, so here's my interview with Steven over the phone. Thanks. All right, let's do this.
Hello?
Hey, Steven, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hang on a minute.
That's fine. Take your time.
I'll just turn my radio off.
Hey, no worries, brother.
And I'm just going to go outside to where I know there's a signal because it's so bad around here.
Hey, I get it. No worries, brother.
I've got a barn here because I've got a bit of a storm going on at the moment. I'm going to the barn.
Hey, take your time.
Right, that's better. Okay, I'm all yours.
All right, brother. How long do I got you for?
Whatever you want.
All right, bro. So we'll go ahead. What's kept you going with Nurse with a Wound for 46 years?
Fun. It's fun. I really enjoy it. I love making music. It's always a surprise what one can come up with. It's become a routine. It's become a part of my life, but it's always invigorating. It's basically it's down to it's fun. It's just a great thing to do, and it's fabulous that I've got people out there that are actually interested in what I'm doing.
I can see that. Like, you seem to be going pretty good with kind of running your own label and doing everything through Bandcamp and your own website. I think it's going pretty damn well considering for 46 years, and you're basically a pioneer in the industrial scene and the drone scene and dark ambient scene. How's that feel about it?
Oh, right. I don't know about pioneer. It's just I just do what I do. I don't really take much notice of reviews or critics or. Thing is that I don't have a computer. I'm not online.
Right.
I don't read magazines.
Smart.
So, but it's the weirdest thing, you spend a lot of time making a record, and I hear that record 100 times while I'm making it, and then it's finally released, and that's it. It's just gone into the void, out into the world somehow, and I never get any feedback. I mean, I might have a mate might say to me, "Oh yeah, this went down well" or something, but generally, it just goes out into the void, and that's it. And then I start another one.
No, I get it. I mean, what I've noticed is that when it comes to a lot of, top lists with like industrial artists. Like you're always seem to make that list. I mean, does that surprise you at all?
Well, you can't buy history. I've been doing it since 1978, so um, it's always the way, isn't it? People catch up after a while,
Yes.
and if you keep on long enough, if you keep on long enough, it's like that whole thing. If you keep saying the same thing long enough, people will start believing you.
Right. Are you working on anything new right now?
Yeah, yeah. I've got. Well, I think yesterday we had a release of a new album. It's there's a magazine called The Quietus, an online magazine.
Yep.
I don't. Do you know them at all?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they've just commissioned an album, and it was up for download yesterday, I believe.
Brilliant. I'll add that to the link.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that, and I have a new, a proper new Nurse Within record, which is coming out soon.
Yep.
I'd say by the end of the year, called Lung Oysters. And that's done with a mate of mine. There's a fellow that I've met over here from a band from the '90s called the Jimmy Cake.
Yes.
And we have a lot in common, and we started working together. His name is Diarmid Mac Diamara.
Okay.
And we've come up with some really, really nice things. So that'll be the next record, next proper record.
You still keep in contact with like your old bandmates? Because I got a hold of JG Thurwell, and he's supposed to be on my podcast sometime in October. And he says hi, by the way. Do you still keep in contact with everybody?
Well, with Jim, we just bump into each other every now and again at different venues and festivals and things. Not really. Like it's one of that kind of friendship that time doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody for 10 years, and it's just like you've known each other always. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get it.
I'm very friendly with I stay in contact with people that I still work with, of course. Like Colin Potter and Andrew Lyles, Matt Waldron, people like that, and some of the older fellows like Edward Caspel, and we're great friends. Yeah, but a lot of the people from going way back, we've kind of all drifted apart.
I understand that. So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I know you kind of live in the middle of nowhere in Ireland. Do you kind of keep yourself away from like big cities? And you said you're staying away from computers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All big cities these days seem to be homogenized. They're all the same. They got all the same shops. Maybe there's a difference in architecture, but the actual feel of the places, cities these days, I've no interest in.
No,
I live in the countryside. I live about 10 miles from the nearest shop, and I'm loving it. I mean,
don't blame you.
I haven't actually left Ireland since the whole COVID.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't know if I got any enthusiasm. I might go on for a nice sunny holiday at some point. But I'm not touring anymore. I'm not playing gigs anymore for a while.
Okay.
If something really special comes up, then maybe.
Yeah, I don't blame
you. But I'm nearly 70 years old. I don't want to be Mick Jagger. I don't want to go on stage with my fucking, with my Zimmer frame.
Well, I think you've made a good impression, because even I think the most recent concerts that have been on YouTube are pretty solid. Like, just still with you work performing on different festivals and stuff like that. Like, it's good to see you. I mean, at that time, performing and still creating and everything like that, and you still made a great impact. Virally through the performances that you've done so far. So
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. I didn't know that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're all over YouTube, so don't worry.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Do you still live in the burn
Mm.
era, like area where you kind of like you
Yeah.
recycled bits and you got it on your house and everything like that? It's such a beautiful house.
Well, not anymore. It isn't
Oh, okay.
because I I moved away from that house about 20 years ago.
Oh, no
I
joke.
built
Okay.
another house, uh, and my kids took over the house,
Oh, fair enough.
and my daughter is she's very anti anything that's not absolutely normal.
Fair enough.
So she pretty much whitewashed the entire house.
Yeah.
Threw out anything that was quirky or unusual,
Oh no.
or had all the mosaics paved over. I mean,
God.
it's not. It's really really not what it was.
Oh, that breaks my
It's
heart.
lost its quirk. Really has. I mean, there's bits and bobs still left that are kind of unusual and funky, but
Yeah.
generally, it's been they've managed to strip away anything that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And then having said that, well, I got a couple of sons that are very artistic, and they've started building their own houses, and they've started mosaicing and doing interesting things, and there's a lot of recycling going on with them, which is great. But I've been spending my time building a new house with my new family, and that's pretty quirky as well.
Hey, that's as long as you're
Maybe one day someone will make a little video of that one too.
there you go, right. Is all your family like pretty much in the arts, like music, or just just the focus on art?
My kids, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, my daughter, she's just mad for horses, so it's anything horses.
Oh, okay.
Anything horse. She's a bit of a horse whisperer.
Fair enough.
So people bring stallions and unruly horses to her, and she calms them down. The other kids are one of them's a carpenter, and the other one's in the pancake business.
Oh, beautiful.
But he's also a builder as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He has a pancake stall which he goes around to all the seaside resorts around here and festivals.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all.
Yeah.
Going back, talk about the art scene in the late 70s. Were you kind of involved with that in the UK? Because I've talked with Nervous Gender. They're like a synth punk type of group. And they were telling me that there was, were you ever involved in like the art scene and kind of running with that whole crowd? Were you involved with like the punks, or were you just kind of involved with the more underground scene with like the whole art scene?
Not really, not as much on the art scene. I was slightly involved with a company called Hypnosis for a while.
Yep.
Do you know them?
Yeah, isn't that
they're album sleeve designers who mainly work with progressive.
Yeah, it's like Pink Floyd and Yes and all them.
Yeah, I worked with them for a while. I was involved in the Animals album.
Yes.
By painting various things for them, and also that's where I met Sleazy Christopherson.
Yes, Chris. Yep.
Because he was actually part of Hypnosis, and this is before Throbbing Gristle, and before I'd actually made the first Nurse of the Wound album. So I met him first before I met Jeff. And I did some work for Hypnosis. I did some a couple of jobs, not jobs, but I got on well with the people there, and I told them of a few ideas I had, and we made those ideas a reality. and took photographs of them.
That's beautiful.
And to my amazement, some of them have appeared in the hypnosis annual, the coffee table kind of book they did. Unfortunately, they didn't credit it to me. They credited these things to hypnosis, but it was actually me that did them.
Yeah, I know I watched, they made a documentary about all that. And I mean, there's some that have really worked hard on it that were part of hypnosis that I felt like they didn't really quite get the recognition. Unfortunately, I hate to see you not being part of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
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 Are you still working on art, painting, and all that? I've seen a few on your website. Yeah.
I had a big exhibition here last year in Dublin, and I've got another solo exhibition coming up soon, and there is a group exhibition in November, which is kind of dedicated to John Balance and Coyle.
Yep.
So I'm going to have a few pieces in that. But I've been, over the past 5 or 6 years, been working on an art book. So of a complete art book of everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
That is almost ready. It's almost ready for printing now. So that will be out sort of early next year.
Oh, wonderful.
300 pages.
Ooh, wow. That's awesome. I can't wait to see that. What's kind of kept you motivated? What's oh, sorry. I was gonna say, what's kept you motivated, like doing art and music? Like, what's really kept you motivated?
I'm the kind of person that needs to be busy all the time, and you know, I can have fun in doing almost anything.
Yeah.
So I enjoy life. I enjoy being creative, and just keep on keeping on.
I hear you.
I don't know what else. I find it very difficult to relax.
No, I get it.
So if I've got a bit of spare time, I'll go and throw some paint around, or mix some glue up, or make some cement. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about working with Stereo Lab. How did that come about?
That's strange you should say that, because I just did an interview yesterday about Stereo Lab. Some guys writing a book about them.
Oh, wow.
Wanted my 10 pence worth. Stereo Lab, they approached me. This is back in the early 90s. I can't remember what it was, but back in the 90s sometime. They approached distribution company. I was with their first step. But I really came back and said, with an amazing offer.
Mm-hmm.
They came back and they said, "If we do some music, and we want you to do whatever you want with the music, just whatever you want.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. And then I want you to title it, do the cover, and we want to go into a shop and buy it."
Yeah.
So what a great offer. So I was given carte blanche to do whatever I wanted to do. And then I did came up with a thing called Crumb Duck.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Which was our first kind of collaboration together.
Yeah.
But what a wonderful offer, just do anything you want, and then we want to go into a shop and buy it ourselves. And I think they did that for the first one. And then we did the Simple Headphone Mind thing afterwards.
When you would perform live, did you kind of go in with like a set list, or was it just kind of let's improvise and just kind of feel it out?
It was always improvised.
Okay.
Toward the end, toward the last few years, we had, we just got used to it, so we'd done about 30 or 40 gigs, so we kind of knew what we were doing. Rather, the early ones were much more, just whatever happened, really. But toward the end, we were becoming almost professional. Our last ever gig actually that we did was released as Three Lesbian Sardines um, a couple of years back.
Yeah.
That's about as professional as we got, I think.
Wonderful. What are there any artists that you've been listening to lately that's caught your ear?
Ken Nordine.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been listening to him a lot. Um, uh, Nucleus, a band from the a jazz band from the early 70s, and lots of people like Henry Cow, John Greaves, people like that. I don't know much current music. I get people to send me anything new that's interesting or creative, but nothing really gels with me. I just find that I tend to listen to things between ages of 68 to 74.
Yep.
Generally, there's a feel in those that I really like, an atmosphere in those records. I think it's pre-digital, you know. It's pre-polyphonic synth. I hate polyphonic synthesizers, and I really, really do not like those or drum machines very much. Yeah, unless they're really primitive, really primitive drum machines, I like them. But if they're, I'm not a fan.
No, I get it. I get it.
So the 80s was dreadful because almost every record had this horrible synthetic sound. Which the 80s were dreadful. Anyway.
I love hearing that. That's hilarious. That's brilliant. That is so brilliant. Oh man. When performing live, what kind of gear were you using? Like primary gear that you would take up on stage?
Oh, we had all kinds. I mean, all four of us would have massive amounts of little electronic bits, and I suppose really, I had a couple of CD decks, scratching CD decks, and flat guitar that I would bow and put various things onto the strings. But all of us had lots of. Matt Waldron, for instance, would have like 30 different toys and noise-making things and bits and bobs. So we had a big spectrum, you know, of all kinds of unusual things.
One last question, and then you've been fantastic. Do you have any advice for any artists and musicians?
Just to keep on, listen to other people, do what you want to do. Although I must admit, it's very difficult these days to get things heard. There's so many people making so many records, so many CDs and downloads. It's a swamp out there, I think. I'm sure, like, I find anything really good these days to hear. I've tried, as I say, people send me stuff, but nothing really gels. I'm sure there is. There's brilliant stuff out there. How do you get to hear it, though?
Right.
That's the problem.
Yep. No, I get it.
My advice is just to don't listen to anybody else. Just keep on doing what you want to do.
Amen to that. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Stephen. You've been incredible, man. You take it easy and enjoy your life, brother.
Oh, thanks very much.
Hey, no problem. Anytime. All right, bye. Hope that went well. Thank you guys for checking it out. Thank you.